Hello, welcome, Marlene here. Today we're working on these 3 fun cookie designs. I was kind of inspired last week when I was using the star cookie cutter to make this flower. And so today I thought I'd realize some of those ideas I had kind of dancing around in my head. We're going to start with a kawaii star. I'm doing a starfish, but you could certainly do more like an emoji looking star. And now on to the step-by-step tutorial. I've got this contraption that I got at a store for drawing plans and things like that, and I find it's always handy when I'm drawing different things on the cookies, trying to create my templates. That's what I used here to create the face. So you can see just 2 simple eyes circles and a little half circle for the smile, keeping it very, very simple. I'm grabbing some dark gray icing, almost black. I don't think black is necessary, and I'm just drawing the mouth on right here. I don't want the mouth to be above the icing. It looks weird when the smile is resting above the whole like face. So I want it to be flush. Now you could paint it on if you wanted, but I want it to be in icing there. And now I'm grabbing some white, creating a background for my eyes later. I'm just doing dots here, just like that. And then grabbing my yellow that I'm going to flood the whole thing in. Start by outlining the elements that we just did, so that they smooth out well. There, and now let's just outline this whole thing. And we're just going to smooth all this out, and once it's had a bit of time to dry, we'll be able to come in and add the final details, and that's it. And you can see the whole face is nice and flush with that yellow icing. Now my surface is nice and dry, and I'm using some watermelon colored petal dust. And I don't have the eyes here yet, so I can come in and add the blush kind of right where the eyes are, creating a cute little smile, like pink cheeks on these kawaii characters. Just a little circular motion. There. I want to brighten up the yellow a little bit around the edges, so I'm just airbrushing that a little bit darker. And now we can come in and add the eyes. It was just a dot. Right where the white was there. And I'm just going to add some reflections. A big dot and then a little. And you can just shake them to smooth out your icing. Another little element that adds to the face here are some eyebrows, and so I'm working in the same yellow so that it doesn't stand out so much. You don't want these big crazy eyebrows, so just a little dot and pull, a dot and pull. And now for it to be more like a starfish, I'm just doing a little dot and then bigger and then bigger. A little dot, progressively larger, and then rotate, and there you have a little kawaii styled starfish. You see, there we go. This isn't really a design tutorial, it's more of an icing experiment. I like to do those every once in a while. I find that it keeps things fresh if you want to try different things. And so let's take a look at this icing experiment. And now I'm just creating a background here. Outlining and flooding immediately. And there. Hard to see here, but I have two parchment paper squares, and I'm just dabbing some silver here. And then I'm adding a bunch of dots on one, and then, whoops, oh, that doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong for this, okay? So now I've got these two squares, one with electric purple, one with teal, and I'm flattening them out. You see here? Kind of smushing it out. There. And now when we separate, you see the finish we're getting? Taking the cookie from the freezer, this is frozen, and now I'm putting this on the surface of this frozen cookie. Rubbing it, and we're going to actually put it back in the freezer so that we can peel off the parchment paper and it won't like pull, you know, it'll just give us a nice smooth finish. So I'm just going to put that in the freezer. Here are those cookies that I took out of the freezer, and here is, just to show you when it lifts off what happens, and you see there is no pulling with the icing because it's frozen, so it's just separating very nicely. It's not creating like that pull when it's fresh icing, which I didn't want that look. Here's the little ones, and I'm pulling off the icing again here just to show you, and it's super flat. And you can just flatten out if there's any kind of corners, because it's still like malleable, pliable. And there are the cookies. It looks, you know what it looks like? It looks like wax crayons, if I have to say. When I was a kid, we'd take pieces of wax crayon and iron them, and it gives it a really cool effect. And then the silver in this few little spots, and I really like them. And you see here what's left, the paper, it like pretty much completely separates and goes onto the surface there, and completely flat. And now for today's final design, we're working on a gorgeous tropical flower. Some call it plumeria, others frangipani. I'm not quite sure of the pronunciation, but either way, an absolutely gorgeous flower, perfect for the summer. And now on to the step-by-step tutorial. Creating the guidelines now for the flower. What I'm doing is running a line from the corner of the star here to the tip, drawing a line, and repeating on a second one, and that'll give me my center there. And then from that center, I'm creating a curve. And then on each one, you see, creating a curve from the center. There, and that's going to give us our petals. And we're not doing the whole thing. We're going to create some separation between each petal. So starting here, I'm creating that roundness, and then towards the tip a little bit more pointed, and then there's the next petal's roundness. So I'm just filling this in. There. And we're going to skip one petal and then work on the next one. So here, the roundness to the tip here, and then curved. There. We're going to let that dry before coming in and doing the second row of petals. This one here has actually dried. And I'm just going to do, here, let's do this one here, around and connect to that petal, and then close it up and fill. There. Let's heal everything. Rotate, and let's do one that's not touching. This one here. And we'll fill this in. And that's it. We're going to let these two dry now before filling in this last one. Now we're adding the fifth and final petal, since everything has had time to dry, starting here at the center, creating that curve, connecting over here, and let's just fill everything up. The colors you pick are entirely up to you. I'm going for electric yellow and electric pink. So I'm starting off here by hitting the center of the flower in that electric yellow. Just like that. And now I'm hitting the pink right here on where the, see that where the curve is, we're hitting on the other side. So where it's kind of meeting the curve is where I'm hitting with the pink. Just like that. And here is the completed cookie. As you can see, it fits so nicely on that star. And I'm just showing you the last step here. And all I'm doing is from the center, I'm following that curve that we created earlier, taking it to the end, and then just doubling back to that center. And we're creating a bit of like a curl here. It's like if you look at the real flower, you'll see that the petals turn up right here. And so we're trying to replicate that look. And we want it to be nice and smooth, no ripples. And we get that pristine white now since we're adding it after. No overspray. So that curve all the way to the end of the petal and all the way back. And then fill. Smooth out your little section and rotate so that you can work more easily. Here I jumped a petal, but it isn't really necessary to skip sections. There's not enough icing meeting up for it to really do too much. Last one. And fill. And here are the 3 designs all together. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. In case you missed my other star tutorial, I'll have the link at the end of this video as well as in the description box. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.